there, people that do the math, that really calculate what these stocks are worth, they were very frustrated for a long time because the stock market was living in la la land. They would have some company that wasn't making any money, that wasn't that great, that would be worth insane amounts of money just because people on Reddit were willing to go overpay for it. Well, now a lot of those people are taking a bath. They're getting hammered today. And so this is actually a good, and this is what investing is supposed to honestly look like. So moving on, a couple more things that are making the market act a little weird is the Fed. The Fed is like they have something they call the Fed put, where basically the Fed saves the economy. You have a pretty managed economy. When the Fed decides to lower interest rates, it tends to boost the market. And so what happened was the Fed signaled that because the inflation rate is not under control, they may not actually do the rate cut that was expected in December. That was a surprise to me. I was very surprised that they said that because the economy is showing tremendous amounts of weakness. There's a lot of pockets where consumers are just not spending like they were before. We could be heading into some dark times in terms of recession and all these things, but this is natural. This is what they call the economic cycle. This happens. And so basically when the Fed said, "Hey, that's what did it." And if you recall, one thing I mentioned to you all when we were doing a stock market class on Tuesday, I said, "Yeah, I think when the government shutdown ends, the market's going to get a little boost from that." I think that would have happened if it wasn't for the Fed. What happened was the same time the Fed popped in, the Fed's like, "Oh yeah, that rate cut we were going to do, we're not going, we're thinking we won't do it." And the market just got depressed. The market was like, "Oh God," and everything went south. So they kind of rained on the parade a little bit. It's like, man, damn, like I thought you guys were going to do the rate cut. But here's the beautiful part though. You've got this like ace in the hole, or you can call him an ass in the hole, or something. I don't know. Donald Trump. This guy, he's either your ace in the hole or he's your ass in the hole. If you think he's an asshole, he's a guy that is also losing money like you. Some of you may have lost $5,000. He probably lost $2 billion. He's deep in crypto. Crypto's getting hammered right now. You see Bitcoin's below 100,000. I just personally think that this guy who's, this narcissist who's got more power than almost any person on the entire planet. This is the crazy. This is what makes it hard to deal with like a Trump or a Kanye, because I told you about all the time I spent on the phone with Kanye West, is that it's really hard for me to convince Kanye that his arrogance is a bad thing because the world just confirms that it's a winning strategy for him. But I'm like, but it makes you a terrible human being. But I mean, I guess if you're okay with that, then yeah, it did make you a lot of money. And so with Trump, the world has kind of confirmed his narcissism, right? Again, I don't care if you voted for him or didn't vote for him. He shows some traits. My wife's a therapist; she's always diagnosing. But long story short, I wouldn't be. I'm just really expecting at some point he's going to come in and do something. He's going to say something that's going to end up boosting the market. I don't know what it's going to be. Maybe it's going to be some announcement. He's going to cut a tariff. He's going to, whatever. I think that when him and his friends are getting, sent to the cleaners financially, I feel like he's going to step in and do something. And remember, he's always trying to put pressure on the Fed. Highly inappropriate behavior. The president is not supposed to put pressure on the Fed. For those of you that love Barack Obama, this is what a Barack Obama would never do. He would never be, calling the Fed chair an idiot and all this other silly stuff. But what's happening is I think in May Trump is going to replace the Fed chair, and when he replaces the Fed chair, that Fed chair is going to push interest rates down.